Hey everyone, and welcome. In today's video, I am super excited to introduce the DFYN exchange, which for simplistic purposes is basically Uniswap, but it runs on Polygon. So think of all the features, all the functionality, the trading, the liquidity pools, all of that we can do on Uniswap, we're doing on Polygon, which means we can process up to 7,000 transactions per second. And best of all, our transaction fees on Polygon are less than a fraction of a cent. So absolutely amazing features here, which I'm going to explain in this video. I'll show you how to get started on DFYN, how it works, how to trade, how to add liquidity, and then I'll also show you how to get a little bit of free Matic through a faucet so that you can get started operating on Polygon network. Hey everyone, and welcome. This is Robert with Altcoin Buzz, and in today's video I am really excited to introduce DFYN, which, as I said, is basically a Uniswap equivalent operating on Polygon, operating on Matic network. Now, one disclaimer before I start this video: I'm probably going to flip-flop Polygon and Matic. These two terms are really interchangeable. If you hear Matic or if you hear Polygon, they're basically the same thing. Don't let the wording confuse you. With that being said, DFYN is an incredible exchange because it has so many features, but instead of operating on Ethereum, where we're doing 15 transactions per second and we're spending up to $20, I think one of my reviews yesterday that I did for a product with Altcoin Buzz, I spent like $20 just on a simple transaction. Not at all the case with DFYN. Our transactions are going to be super cheap. I'm going to show you everything that you need to know. So the first thing that you do need to know is when we are operating on DFYN, we will need to be operating on the Polygon network, and you can use MetaMask for this. It's incredibly easy to point your MetaMask from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain or to use Polygon. So what I'll do is I'll put a link to our video showing you how you can do this. It was in my previous video when I talked about ZeroSwap and the Z token. It was in that video, I showed you there, but what I'll also show you again is a very quick shortcut of how you can basically do this automatically if you don't want to go through all the steps of that manual configuration. So if you don't want to go through the manual configuration steps, it is super easy to switch your MetaMask over to Polygon. All you've got to do is go to DFYN and simply click switch to Matic. It's going to bring up your MetaMask. We will go ahead and unlock that wallet, and this is the cool thing. It automatically reads in the network name, the network URL, the chain ID, all of these different details. All we have to do is click approve and switch network, and then what we'll see if we go into our MetaMask, all of this is automatically going to be added for us. So you don't have to add in any of this stuff yourself. It will automatically be there. So with that being said, you've got set up, you have some Polygon tokens, you have Matic. The one thing I do want to point out is if you have MetaMask, if you have Tether, if you have Ethereum in your wallet, you need to make sure that that is on the Polygon network. So we're not operating on Ethereum even though we're using MetaMask. You will need tokens that are operating on the Polygon on the Matic network. Once you have those tokens, and I do have a little bit in my MetaMask wallet, DFYN allows you to trade within Matic network, within Polygon, with exceptionally low transaction fees. So what I want to show you is that in my wallet right now, I have some Z tokens. Now, as I described in a previous video, Z right now is having a kind of a partnership with DFYN where you can do this dual mining where you can farm both DFYN and Z tokens. So what I'm going to do, again, because when we provide liquidity, we need two equal pairs. So I'm going to do this step by step, show you first how to swap half of my Z to DFYN, how to pool that DFYN and Z, and then how to farm those LP tokens. So first step is executing a simple swap. So with that being said, we're simply going to go here, enter the token that we want to swap from. We want to go from Z, and it's saying that our max balance is about 40. So what we want to do, we'll want to use about 20 of that, and we want to go to a DFYN. With that being said, it pops up and it shows us that we will get about 6.929 DFYN. First thing we have to do, and again, this is kind of one of those features that it's the same as Ethereum. We have to do an initial transaction to approve spending this Z. But here is the amazing thing I want you to look at. If you're looking at Ethereum, this is probably going to say $22 to $30, right? If you're looking at Binance Smart Chain, it's still going to say maybe about 20 cents. And again, it's been a while since I did a Binance Smart Chain transaction, but even though it's cheaper than Ethereum, it is not even close to Polygon. Look at this, 0.0. So we are doing amazing fast transactions here. I'm just going to go with a fast speed because it allows us to do such quick transactions here. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that. That transaction is going to be pending, and take a look at that. That's probably about less than 15 seconds, I would say, and we used an average gas speed, so incredibly fast confirmation time. Now we actually want to go through with the swap, so again, we're going to click that, confirm the swap, just as with Uniswap. And again, I know I keep doing Uniswap comparisons because that's what a lot of people are familiar with. It's going to show us the price impact from our trade, the liquidity provider fee, and then the minimum amount that we received. We're going to go ahead and confirm that swap. And again, take a look at this here on MetaMask. Very cheap transaction fees, because again, I'm doing all of this with free Matic that was provided me through the faucet. So I'll show you how to get free Matic so you can start carrying out these transactions if you want yourself. Transaction has been submitted. One thing, and again, this makes it really easy here, because we're working with custom tokens and we're working on a different network, it makes it really easy for us to add DFYN to MetaMask. So if you have MetaMask and you're not seeing your tokens, you need to go in and add them so that they will actually appear. Again, it makes it super easy. You simply click on it, and then if we go to our MetaMask, again, making sure that you're on that Matic network, and we go to assets, we'll see we have DFYN. And one thing that I guess I messed up on this, I did not want to swap all of my DFYN. I wanted to swap about half of that for Z. So I actually need to go back and swap the remainder of that back to Z so I can have equal amounts to put into that liquidity pool. Ethereum, that would have been a $20 mistake right there. With DFYN, with Polygon, yeah, that was my mistake, but it cost me less than a fraction of a cent to go back and do some more trades, so no big issue there. We can go ahead and confirm the swap. And again, like I said, that's my error. I should have paid attention because I really wanted to swap half my Z for that DFYN. I ended up swapping the whole thing. Normally you would just swap half and then you would put it both in the liquidity pool. So my mistake, but you get a little bit bonus here. You get to see me go through 2 different transactions on this network. So now what we should see in MetaMask, we should have both the Z token and we should have DFYN. So that's how you execute a simple swap. Obviously I could have went between any 2 assets. I could have went between Z and Aave. I could have went between Z and DAI, Ethereum, whatever the case may be, any asset that's supported here, just like Uniswap, you can trade between them. Now what we want to do is we want to add to these liquidity pools. Again, same thing here with Uniswap. Whenever you're adding to a liquidity pool, you do get the ability to earn fees from those trades. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to add liquidity, and then we simply select the 2 tokens that we want. So we want to add the maximum amount of DFYN. Actually, let's add the maximum amount of Z. It's automatically going to calculate for us the input that we need to put of both token pairs because we need to put equal amounts of those in. So we're going to do the maximum amount of Z that we have. We're going to go to DFYN, and it's going to calculate how much we can put into that. So what it says is that when we add liquidity, we will earn 0.3% of all the trades on this pair proportional to our share of the pool. So the example I always like to give, and these are incredibly simplistic numbers. Let's suppose I have $100 worth of trades that go through this pool in a day. 0.3% of that will be distributed to the pool as a whole. So $100 times 0.3 is 30 cents. And then let's suppose that I have 10% of the total share of the pool, I will get 3 cents of that. So obviously there's much bigger volume flowing through this pool, but I like to use simple numbers to make the calculations easy. So with that being said, we're going to go right back to DFYN. We're going to go ahead and supply this to the liquidity pool, confirming our supply. One thing I always do want to point out, when you put liquidity into these pools, you are exposing yourself to something known as impermanent loss. And this basically happens when there's a divergence between the price of the 2 assets, and you might still make money, but you do worse than you would have done by simply holding both assets. Again, this video is a tutorial of DFYN. It's not a course or an analysis of impermanent loss. Just know that it is a possibility, and you should do that research before providing to a liquidity pool. That being said, many people do find it useful because they're still able to earn those liquidity fees, and it ends up outweighing whatever chance they have of impermanent loss. Like I said, not financial advice. Always do your own research. I just like to give you things to be aware of. So we're going to go ahead and close that. Now what we'll see is if we go to farms, we have the ability to deposit those LP tokens into a dual farm. So there's different farms here that we have access to. So we can farm single assets, pre-staking farms, we can do a variety of different things. But the one I specifically want to highlight is this dual farming of DFYN and Z. What you can see here, APR on this is absolutely crazy at 523%. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and deposit our liquidity provider tokens to that, the maximum amount. Again, as with Ethereum, as with Binance Smart Chain, the first time we do this, we have to approve the transaction, and then we also have to go through with the deposit. So what you can see right off the bat here, these transactions are incredibly fast. Normally with Ethereum, even if I'm using an average or even a fast gas fee, I would pause the video, I would edit out the video, but with this, it's usually confirming in just a matter of seconds, 15, 20 seconds usually at the most. And now we're going to go ahead and actually deposit the token. And like I said, transactions are super fast. We're going to go ahead and deposit this token. And just like that, the transaction is there. It has been approved. We can already view it on Matic Explorer, and it will show us that that transaction has went through. It has been confirmed. So with that being said, we can already see that we do have some unclaimed rewards that we're accruing here. And this is just a really cool thing because, again, we're earning both rewards. We're earning those Z rewards and we're earning those DFYN rewards at the same time. Very high APR at the moment. With that being said, there's one more feature that I want to show you in this video because I think it's something that you're absolutely going to love. And this is something that I've not really found on any of the other chains I've tried. I've done Ethereum demos, I've done Binance Smart Chain demos, and usually I have to get Binance Smart Chain sent to my wallet so I have a little bit of fuel for those transactions. Same with Ethereum. The thing that I like about Matic so much is that they give you a small initial amount of Matic so that you can get started making these transactions. And everything that I showed you in this video, all the different transactions, depositing liquidity, all of that was done with this small initial amount of Matic that they send you. So for free, all of these transactions here I did for free. This is something that probably would have cost me $100 to $150 if I was operating on Ethereum. So with that being said, the way you get this is you go to a place known as matic.supply. You will connect your wallet, and just so I can show you right here, let's get a quick check on what I have. I have 0.0002 Matic. This should give me about 0.0005 Matic. We simply go through, we click all the images here. We're going to go ahead and verify that. And one thing I do like about this is that it says you can come back and you can use this faucet multiple times per day. And just to show you how quick, how simple these transactions are, with 0.001 Matic, you can do up to 100 basic transactions on Polygon. So something that would cost up to $50 on Ethereum is basically free for you here. If you want to earn more Matic, it gives you a way of doing that as well, but our purpose is here, we are just simply trying to claim this amount. And again, just like that, super fast, incredibly easy to use, just a few seconds there, it confirmed. We can even check it out on the Block Explorer if we choose to do so, but the balance will also be showing right here in our MetaMask wallet. So 0.0007 Matic, it bumps us up by that 0.0005, just like it said it would. So again, this is actual Matic, this is actual cryptocurrency that we can use. This isn't testnet, this is actual stuff for operating on the main net. So with that being said, I know the main thing I wanted to show you in this video was how to jump into it, how to start using DFYN. With that being said, I always like to go back, talk a little bit about the roadmap, the tokenomics, various things such as that. So with the roadmap, you can see that DFYN as it currently exists is obviously on the Matic network, but their goals are so much bigger than that. DFYN is designed to address something known as fragmented liquidity, and part of what this means is that there's no single blockchain that is the king right now. We have a lot of different blockchains. We had Ethereum and it was the leader for a while, and it still is the leader in a lot of respects, but we have Polkadot, we have BSC, we have all of these different chains where people are using different projects on one chain, different projects on another chain, and we're getting to a situation where it looks like the future of blockchain, the future of crypto really is going to be multiple chains. So what DFYN does is it says we have liquidity in all of these different places. What we need is one structure to allow people to tap into that different liquidity wherever it may be. And part of what they're doing with this is creating a router protocol that will use cross-chain bridges to seamlessly allow communication and value transfer between different DFYN nodes. So right now we're obviously on Matic or Polygon, whichever you want to call it. In the future, we're going to be launching on BSC, HEC, Avalanche, Polkadot, Algorand, and more. So this is something that's going to be integrating. It's going to be allowing you to have access to liquidity on all all of these different blockchains. It's something that I'm really excited about, and of course it is a layer 2 solution as well. So as you saw in the video, super low transaction fees, super fast confirmation times. A couple key things that I want to hit on here with the roadmap. Obviously, we have made it into 2021. We're looking at Q2, where we're going to be start putting nodes on other chains. So Binance Smart Chain, Polka, Avalanche, Solana, DFYN token as collateral on platforms, TGE listing on Uniswap, Q3 integration with this router aggregator, single asset staking, impermanent loss hedging. Again, impermanent loss, something that I did talk about a little bit previously. That impermanent loss hedging could be something that a lot of people are going to find very useful. And then Q4, cross-chain credit markets infra tools to enable seamless cross-collateralization and borrowing across chains. So absolutely huge when we're looking at cross-chain collateralization in Q4. Again, not here yet, but definitely something to look forward to. So one other thing that I do want to talk about is obviously the tokenomics. What does the token do? Why is it valuable? And within the ecosystem, obviously DFYN is the native token of the exchange. As a part of that, it is going to have a governance feature. So if you hold uni tokens, if you hold comp tokens, anything like that, you're familiar with how governance tokens work. People that hold those tokens can use those tokens to vote on proposals, changes, upgrades to the protocol. So it gives the users, it gives the holders of those tokens a say in how the protocol is going to run. On top of that, there's a revenue sharing program in which, remember when I was talking about the liquidity provider and there's a 0.3% fee on every trade? 0.25% of that is obviously passed on to the liquidity providers. However, 0.05% goes to the DFYN treasury for buybacks and gas fee subsidies. So obviously a buyback will hopefully put upward pressure on the price of DFYN, making it an asset that increases in value. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. It's important to do your own research. However, those are the two main cases for using the DFYN token. So one last thing I want to close out the video with is obviously taking a look at the token here on CoinGecko and talking a little bit about the tokenomics as well. So DFYN, obviously on CoinGecko, trading at $4.39 per coin. We can see a total 24-hour trading volume of about $10 million, maximum circulating supply of 250 million. With that being said, kind of going back and wrapping everything up, DFYN is one of these projects that I'm really excited about. When I was able to get on here and make 5 to 6 different operations for less than a fraction of a cent, that is something that gets me really excited as a cryptocurrency trader, as a cryptocurrency investor. Not only that, but look how fast those transactions went through. So in and of itself, just those two things alone are enough to really make me like this project. On top of that, when we talk about that next quarter's integration and we start talking about these multiple chains and we're talking about multi-collateralization from across different chains, that's something that's really exciting and that I think has great potential. As always, though, it is important to do your own research. Any decisions that you make are completely your own and should be undertaken after careful consideration of all the evidence. With that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next time.